So that would be over a 4x from its current price of $3. All right, welcome to Talking Investing. I am Tom. This is not financial advice. We are here to talk about all things investing, and today I want to talk to you about one of my favorite companies and one of my strongest conviction plays, and that is a company called Bitfarms, and the stock ticker is BITF. So I want to talk about a few things today. I want to talk about their mining operations, the amount of Bitcoin they've mined, their profitability, their market cap, their valuation, and then I want to give you my price prediction because the entire Bitcoin mining sector has been beaten up pretty good. I'm not sure people really understand the numbers, so I'm going to go through them. They're going to look outrageous, but this is not financial advice. These are my estimates. I believe these are reasonable numbers. You guys can do your own due diligence and see for yourself. Having said that, let's take a look at what I'm talking about. Okay, so the first thing is, here's their Bitcoin production update. They just did an update as of July 12th on how many Bitcoin they've mined this year. So you'll see in this most recent month, this was their best month, June of 2021, they mined 265 Bitcoin. So I want to put that into perspective. There's two companies in this space considered the industry leaders. They are the biggest companies. They have the largest market caps. And those of you who know the Bitcoin mining sector probably know I'm talking about RIOT Blockchain and Marathon Digital. They have fluctuated with a market cap in 2021, somewhere on the low side where they are right now, in the low to mid 2 billion range, 2 to 2.5 billion. And on the high side, I think they both got over 5 billion at one point. So year to date, Bitfarms has mined more Bitcoin than Marathon or Riot. They're all getting about the same size. It is going to fluctuate. They've all put in massive orders for new machines. They're updating, installing machines regularly. And these three companies all have some similar plans. So I guess my point is, these three companies have similar mining facilities. They all have very strong balance sheets. They all have a massive cash runway. Some are bigger than others, but just good balance sheets all the way around. These guys had $53 million in cash March 31st, and subsequent to that, they raised another $75 million in cash. So they have over $100 million in cash. And by the way, they're cash flowing from operations. So that cash is going to be used to buy the machines to get them to these larger exahash numbers. This just kind of visualizes what I just talked about. So here's a chart from Bitfarms' investor presentation. So if you look at this, the first half of 2020, they had 780 petahash per second of mining capacity. So that is 0.78 exahash. So that's less than 1 exahash. So by the end of the year, it was 965. So you'll see by the end of this year, 2021, they want to be at 3 exahash or 3,000 petahash. And at the end of 2022, they want to be at 8,000 petahash. So 8,000 petahash or 8 exahash is more than 10 times what they were last year. So this is one of the catalysts for why I think their stock should be skyrocketing. They plan on 10xing their capacity to mine Bitcoin. So that's one gigantic factor into their profitability. And they're already executing that. This is the front page of their website. They are currently at 1,420 petahash per second. That is installed and operating. That's what got them their 265 Bitcoin in June. So they have plans to get up to 1.66 exahash in July. Okay, this came out on May 6, 2021. Bitfarms announces purchase of 6,600 S19J Pro Antminers. They're going to receive these in August, September, and October of this year. So if you look at their update, what they say basically is, this purchase represents 660 petahash out of the 1,053 petahash of miners scheduled for delivery throughout the remainder of 2021. After they bought these 6,600 machines, they raised another $75 million, and they have not made an announcement yet. So I would not be surprised sooner than later to see an announcement from Bitfarms that they've made another large purchase of mining machines. Okay, I want to switch to talking about valuation and profitability. So I'm going to start by showing you that Bitfarms, they're trading at around $3 today. Today is July 20th, 2021. Bitcoin dipped below 30,000 this morning. The market opened and all the miners were having a bad day. At one point today, Bitfarms was down to $2.81. It's rebounded back up a little bit over $3. So let's call it, for the purposes of this conversation, Bitfarms is trading at around $3. All right, I'm going to show you a schedule that I put together. Now, I want you to bear in mind all these numbers, other than the ones labeled actual, which we looked at earlier, everything else on this page, these are my estimates. So I went through a significant calculation to get to these. There's a lot of variables, so these are by no means engraved in stone. Some of the major variables are the worldwide hash rate. The difficulty level could go up or down. They still need to get and install and execute their plan to implement their getting up to 3 exahash by the end of this year and 8 exahash by the end of next year. So there's a lot of variables. So I've done my best to take an average of these things and try and come up with a couple of reasonable case scenarios. If you've made it this far in the video, thank you for watching. Please do me a favor, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, leave us a comment. All those things help our channel a lot, and I really appreciate it. Pardon the interruption. Let's get back to the regularly scheduled program. So I've gone through and estimated out that I believe Bitfarms is going to mine 4,194 Bitcoins this year. One of the things they released in that July 12th estimate, they were on pace to mine over 400 Bitcoin in the month of July. So one of the reasons for that is the worldwide hash rate has gone way down in the last few months. So the difficulty level for mining Bitcoin continues to decrease. That is a short-term trend. I expect it to reverse, but it is down significantly. It's down almost in half from where it was at its peak a few months ago. So as a result of that, and the biggest adjustment was a couple of weeks ago, that has allowed Bitfarms to dramatically increase the number of Bitcoin that they are mining. So I take that into account. I expect the hash rate, like I said, to gravitate back to where it was over time. It's not going to get there overnight, but at the same time, Bitfarms is dramatically increasing their hash rate with new machines. So those things offsetting each other, call it 4,000 Bitcoins. I'm estimating that they're going to mine in 2021. I don't have a crystal ball. That could be 3,000, that could be 5,000, but I think 4,000 is a pretty fair target number. Using the same methodology, I've come up with about 10,651 Bitcoin that I believe Bitfarms is going to mine next year. So let's look at my 2021 scenario. So I'm looking at, based on the 4,194 Bitcoin mined, I'm looking at approximately $178 million in revenue. Now, remember, 95+% of the Bitcoin that they mine, they are able to keep because their cost of operations is very low. Having said that, if they mine in the neighborhood of the 4,000 Bitcoin, that'll put them at what I say is $178 million in revenue. So this is their first quarter 2021 financial report. And in that, they talk about gross mining profit of $22 million or an 80% gross mining margin. I am using that right from their report. I'm using 80% as their estimated gross profit. I believe with the reduction in the difficulty level, they're actually going to do better than that, but let's leave it like it is at 80%. That would mean gross profit of $142 million. Their overhead has been on track to pace towards maybe $15 million annually. So that would leave them at an estimated income from mining operations of about $127.6 million. All right, let's talk PE for a second. So this is from the Wall Street Journal. And you'll see that the Russell 2000 was trading at a over 63 price to earnings ratio last year. So this is typical. The Russell 2000 is comprised of small cap growth stocks. So those tend to have a much higher PE in anticipation of the large amount of growth versus the more mature companies that have already gone through those periods of growth. So hence the difference. Marathon is being added to the Russell 2000. So that tells us that Bitfarms is a Russell 2000 type of a company, which makes sense. Small cap growth stock, its direct competitor Marathon is already being added to the Russell 2000. So if I look at Bitfarms right now, using my estimated mining income from operations of 127 million for 2021. So again, that's my estimate. We don't know what's going to happen, but if we use that, then based on the current market cap of $438 million, which is Bitfarms trading at $3 a share, you're talking about a 3.4 PE ratio. I went ultra conservative and said, what if we had a PE ratio of 15, which is way at the low end of even the mature stocks, never mind the small cap growth stocks. So with a PE of 15 and an estimated net income in 2021 of $127 million, that would put the market cap for Bitfarms at $1,914 million. That's almost $2 billion. That starts to put it in line with Marathon and Riot, and that starts to make more sense every way that you look at this. So, and that's only a 15 PE. So that's half the normal PE of the S&P 500. It's a quarter the normal PE of the Russell 2000, which is where this stock belongs. So that's 2021. So that would be over a 4x from its current price of $3. And I feel like I've been pretty reasonable and or conservative in my estimates coming up with this number. So if we use my 15 PE ratio, which again is ultra conservative, that's way less than the S&P 500, which is way less than the Russell 2000, which is where this stock belongs, that would give you a price target next year of $67. That is a 22x from where they are right now. Sounds crazy. So again, I don't have a crystal ball. I can't by any means say that it's going to be a 22x, but I think you can look at this scenario. This is a reasonable scenario where this stock price 22x in the next year and a half. So these are my thoughts. Please do your own due diligence, and thanks for watching the video. We'll see you in the next one.